we're having a good conversation here. I respect Christians a lot, but I think one reason the average person who converts to Islam, is specifically from Christianity, is because it's not self-contained. Like Christianity really can't survive in a society that doesn't promote the law to some extent, the ethical law, because this notion that you could walk around just deciding by your heart what's good and what's not could never last. This is why Christians typically have a hard time like setting standards on dating, because the first night they'll just sleep around because they have no standards. They'll touch the girl, this and that. In Jewish law, there's a distinction. But if you feel you're not under the law, which, I mean, I think most Christians would acknowledge that they are, but they'll say just ethical laws, when I don't see Jesus making a distinction, right? I mean, even loving God.
There is a distinction. There is a distinction because if you're going to sleep around with different women, I mean, quite obviously, first of all, there's a clear distinction in the New Testament between works of the flesh and works of the spirit. Okay, so in your physical body, the works of your flesh, sexual immorality is definitely put forth as a no-no. I mean, Old Testament, New Testament, sexual immorality is.
How would you know what sexual immorality is if the Torah didn't tell you?
Well, I mean, it doesn't mean that we don't read the Torah.
No, but you're saying that you're not bound. You said that you're not bound to the law, but it's the law that gave us the standard of what sexual immorality is. So you are bound to the law.
But I'm not bound to the law. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not bound to the law. I follow the law because I know that the law is God's example of holiness.
Okay.
Not that I'm required
not to follow the law,
not to fail. Like, okay, so how are you going to follow the law completely without a Messiah?
There's no notion of following the law completely to be validated for a concept like heaven and hell that doesn't even appear in the Jewish Bible. This is a much later idea.
It does appear in the Jewish Bible. It appears in the prophets. It appears in the book of the prophets, and it appears in the Torah.
Heaven and hell? Also, I mean, can you name a verse?
Yeah. Oh man, now you're gonna make me get my stuff out, man.
Yeah, no, there's no verse in the Bible. There's no verse in the Bible that alludes to heaven. So
there is no Sheol, there is no Abraham's bosom.
And Sheol and Abraham's bosom. I mean, not that even appears in the Torah. Is not heaven.
That's Mikhail.
So there is not a position of the blessed and the dead. That's what you're trying to tell me.
It seems that literally in the Torah, any punishment is on earth and any reward is on earth. The most we know about what may happen after we die, according to the Torah, is that God is going to write us in a book. It says Abraham died, he was gathered to his fathers, and he was buried. That's all we know. However, not Christianity, Judaism.
Well, now wait a minute. So what about Elijah?
What about him?
So the only one that gets to go to heaven is Elijah?
Who said that Elijah went to heaven?
Well, he was caught up in a chariot of fire.
Okay. So in Hebrew,
and taken to heaven.
Okay. So the word
Shemayim. Then we got one more. Then we got more. Enoch.
No, hold on. Just let me.
Enoch is the only one.
One by one.
Go to heaven.
Hold on. So Elijah didn't go to heaven according to the Bible. The word for heaven, or what gets mistranslated, at least colloquially nowadays, that makes one assume that there's a palace in the sky, is the word Shemayim, which only means sky. That's all it means. Later on, people embellished the idea, and now there's condos in the sky, there's virgins in the sky, right? The notion of heaven doesn't appear in the Bible. Enoch, it says that he walked with God and then God took him. It never said that he took him to heaven. You know, as a matter of fact, there's commentators that say that that's just a way of saying that he died.